part 2 of our planning a profitable ticketed in-person event. Thank you so much for joining me once again every single Wednesday. And if you're joining me the very first time, my name is May Yo Silvers. I'm the owner of M2 Hospitality, a multiple six-figure profit event planning company. And I'm also the founder, event mentor, and coach for Events for Anyone, where we help event planners to start and grow the event planning company through our mentorship program called the Unstoppable Eventrepreneur. So today we're going to learn about the part 2 of the 3-part series of how to plan a profitable ticketed in-person event. So last week we talked about the part 1 series, which is defining the objective of the event and also the top 10 most commonly made mistakes when people are planning their ticketed in-person events. So thank you for joining me once again to listen to part 2. If you have missed part 1, you can go to my YouTube channel, May Yo Silvers. And if you're inside my Facebook group, you can go to the guides tab on and look how to plan events. You'll find it over there. LinkedIn, you can go to my profile at May Yo Silvers and you'll be able to see the activities or the live videos that I've done in there. So same thing for YouTube, right? I mentioned that already. And my podcast, so the Unstoppable Eventrepreneur. So I'm very excited to talk about today's part 2 series, ticket pricing, ticket sales strategy, and also sponsorship sales strategy. Okay, so ticket pricing, right? The most common mistake that people make when they price their ticket. All right, if you're joining me on Facebook, make sure that you click on the StreamYard link so I can see your name. If not, just type your name so I know that you're here with me because I see quite a few eyeballs. All right, so if the most commonly made mistakes when it comes to ticket pricing is pricing it based on how much, number one, how much you think people will pay, or number two, what other people are charging. Okay, I'm not saying that you shouldn't know what people are charging because you want to know what is the market rate tolerance where other people are hosting ticketed in-person events that is quite similar of nature to your event, and we want to be able to see how far are we in terms of our pricing. Hey, Angie is joining me on YouTube. That's great. Hey, Charmaine. All right, so I got another Facebook user, but I can't see your name. You just type hi, May. All right, hi, back to you. So it's good to know what the market is charging, especially when the event is quite similar to yours, okay, in terms of the number of days and also the experience, okay? But of course, the content being delivered will be very different. So that's why I said that it's good to know the market tolerance, but you are not going to price your event based on what other people are doing. You want to be able to price it based on certain factors, okay? So don't make that mistake. And don't price based on how much you think people will pay. I tell you, if you have a good experience, if you are creating a great experience and you are also achieving the objective of hosting this event and the goal why people will want to come to your event, if you satisfy and fulfill them, they will pay a lot of money to come to your event. I myself have paid close to $5,000 for just a 2-day event. Okay, because I know that the people I'm going to meet, and I also know that the content is going to be delivered is what I need and want at this point in time. So I will invest the money. Okay, so what is the ticket pricing strategy? I'm very conservative when it comes to that. And some of you may not agree with my methodology, but I will tell you that this is the same methodology that I apply to all the clients that I work with when they hire me to do their ticketed in-person events. So what I normally do is I look at the cost of production, okay? The cost of producing the event. And the cost of producing event, we talk about it in part 1, which is your fixed cost and also your variable cost, all right? So when you do your events that are fixed cost and variable cost, the fixed cost is something that you will need to incur regardless how many people show up. Things like your audiovisual. So audiovisual, it's I would say that audiovisual is a little bit of a gray area, because if your number of people increase tremendously or drop tremendously, we can always change the requirement. But the audiovisual is normally one of it. The room, the space, okay? The room rental fee. Now, again, there's also a little bit of a gray area, because your venue may decide that, oh, if you increase the number of people tremendously, I need to give you a bigger space, and then they may increase the fee. Or if the number of people decrease tremendously, a lot of times, depending on how soon they know that you are dropping in your numbers, they will see whether do they have time to sell that space you're currently occupying and give you a smaller space. If they don't feel that they are able to sell the space that you're currently occupying, which at this point in time is too big for your group because you drop your numbers tremendously, they will still continue to charge you what is on your original contract. So that's your fixed cost. If you have a photographer or a videographer, those don't change, because it doesn't matter whether there's one person in the room or there's 1,000 person in the room. You hire the photographer to take pictures, you hire the videographer to take videos. So those costs do not change as well. And if you hire a planner, the costs don't change either, because your planner is still doing the same amount of work regardless whether it's 100 or 1,000, unless you hire her to do the full planning, which includes all the client communication. Of course, the time spent will be a little bit lesser if your number of attendees drop. But from a general perspective, the things that are variable that are fixed will be your photographer, videographer, your branding. Let's say, for instance, if you need to have a step and repeat, you want to take pictures in front of the step and repeat, you have branded tablecloth, and you know that you're going to have 2 tables for registration. That doesn't change whether it's one person coming or 1,000 people coming. So those are your fixed costs, okay? Now, your variable costs are the things that fluctuate based on how many people show up, all right? So if you're providing food and beverage, then your variable costs will go up tremendously, okay? Your variable costs will go up tremendously because you are feeding more people. And if you're providing floral centerpiece, for instance, and you have a lot more people show up, then you need more tables, you need more linens. Then that also fluctuate as well. If you are giving away little goodie bags or sweat bags, the more people show up, the more you have to order. So those are your variable costs. And those are the costs of your production. Audiovisual costs, food and beverage, venue costs, those are the 3 main costs. And also your marketing, right? Marketing is under the umbrella of collaterals, branded materials, your step and repeat, and I also put photographer and videographer as part of marketing costs as well. So you have these costs. All these are the costs of producing the event. Then you ask yourself, okay, how many people do I want to be at this event? So when you realize how many people you want to be at this event, let's say that, oh, you want 100 people at this event, okay? And let's say the cost of production is $20,000. And you want 100 people, okay? So $20,000 and you want 100 people. So you are thinking, I can sell the tickets for $100. I can sell the ticket for $200, right? That will cover the cost of the production. So this is one way to price your ticket. Understand how much the cost of production is, and then you divide by, so in this case it's $20,000, and then you divide by how many tickets you want to sell, that you want to fill the room. So 100 tickets, okay? So you divide by 100 tickets, that means you sell the tickets at $200 per ticket, okay? Now, do I do that? No. That's one of the scenario I present to my client so they can see that, okay, if you want 100 people in that room and your cost of production is $20,000 because we have 100 people coming, we're feeding 100 people. This is the space that we need, right, in order to accommodate 100 people. So you need to sell each ticket at $200 to recoup your cost, right? But for me, I don't do it this way, because when you are doing an in-person event, you will be there. Your speakers will be there. Your team member will be there. And maybe some other people you invite and they're not paying for tickets, just like your existing clients. For coaches, you invite your existing clients. And then for event planners, you may want to invite some of your friends and family or your best clients to come to this event, and they're not paying for the ticket. Okay, they're not paying for the ticket. Sponsors as well. If you invite sponsors or sponsors get to sit in to eat, those people, they don't pay for ticket. So let's just say that you want 100 people in the room, okay? 100 people in the room, but out of that 100 people, 10 people are not paying. So in reality, you will only have 90 people paying, okay? So in this case, you're still incurring the cost for 100 people because the other 10 who's coming for free is still utilizing the resources that you're providing when it comes to the sweat bag, when it comes to the food and beverage, all right? So you are still incurring the cost for 100 people at $20,000, but you are not charging for 10 people because you're not charging yourself, you're not charging your team, right? So, or your friends and family or any clients that you're inviting. So you only have 90 people who's coming to the event. So the conservative method of calculating this is you take $20,000 divide by 90 people. So now you have to sell the ticket at $222.22 in order not to lose money and to cover the cost of the 10 people who are not paying for the ticket. That's how I normally would do it, okay? So I want to be able to have these 90 people to bear the cost of the 10 people that's incurring. So that's a conservative method. But I always paint both sides, both scenario, so my client can see, I think I can confidently sell at what price. So I give them different scenarios. Now, I also teach my clients, okay, when I plan the events for them, I also want to show them another scenario that you can make money. So I'm going to talk about two scenarios here, okay, for event planners and for coaches and consultants who hires me and all who wants to do it themselves. So I always encourage that when you're selling tickets, okay, for in-person events, and you're thinking that you're going to make money by selling your services at the back end. So the money that you put out upfront is marketing costs. I want you to have a different perspective that when you plan a ticketed in-person event, you can actually not only recoup your costs by selling tickets, you can actually make money. So what I do is I will include the cost, the profit margin. Let's just say that my client says, hey, I want to make $10,000 from doing this in-person event, this just from ticket sales, okay? So I don't have to depend on selling programs or my services at the back end. So I want to make $10,000 profit. So now you know the cost of production is $20,000. You add on your $10,000 profit. So now your cost is now $30,000. If you go the traditional method and divide by 100 people that's coming, then the ticket you need to sell at $300. If you go the conservative method, like as what I was saying just now, so you take $30,000, divide by 90%, you will need to sell the ticket at $333 in order to make the profit that you want. Okay, everybody follow me so far? This is the ticket pricing strategy. Give me a thumbs up, give me a emoji. Let me know that you're following me on how to price your tickets. Okay, now we can even do one step more, which is hyper conservative. So what do? A hyper conservative scenario is you say that you want 100 people in the room, right? And you know 10 people you're going to come for free. So they most likely will show up. So now you have these 90 people, 90 tickets to sell. And you're going to ask yourself, can I confidently sell these 90 tickets? Especially for those of you who are doing it the very first time. You don't have a history of doing this. There's no data to refer back. You want to ask yourself, how conservative, how many, we're taking a very conservative approach. So let's just say we only sell 50% of the number of people whom we want to sell to. So now we are no longer selling 100 tickets. Worst case scenario, we're only selling 50 tickets. So we also want to make money upfront, which is the $10,000. So you take $30,000, divide by 50 tickets, because you can only sell 50 tickets. Conservative, hyper conservative approach. So now you need to sell the ticket at $600. Okay, $600. No longer $200. No longer $200. No longer $300. It's $600. Worst case scenario. So when I present this to my clients, I show them the traditional approach, the conservative approach, and the hyper conservative approach. So now they can see, okay, based on these numbers, what is the market tolerance? What is the market selling? If we are way below the market, fantastic. Then I will actually pack in more profit in the front end. So we have done a really good job in keeping our costs low. And now we can actually put in more profit that I want by doing this event and up the price to even $1,000. So this is the pricing, ticket pricing strategy. Okay. Now, in addition, we also want to think about the different tier pricing. Okay. Different tier pricing. So this now we go into the ticket sales strategy. So we want to look at the early bird sales and super early bird sales and the regular sales and also VIP experience. So those calculations that I've given to you, right? Those calculations I've given to you is how much the ticket needs to sell. Then you want to be able to consider a few things, because when you decide to do an in-person event, you have to contract venues and vendors. Sometimes they'll be asking money from you to secure that space. Okay, venue will tend to ask you for the money first, a certain deposit, and you don't want to be able to want to take out money from your own pocket upfront before you collect any sales. So what I normally will suggest to do is don't sign a contract with the venue first. Okay, you can tell your people that the event is going to be at this city, at this state. Okay, on these dates at this city. So you sell a super early bird tickets. Now, depending on what you have calculated based on the ticket pricing strategy, are you way below the market tolerance or are you at market tolerance? Then if you're way below the market tolerance, then you'll be able to sell the cost of the ticket, like what we calculated just now, at the super early bird. And if you sell enough super early bird, you already recoup the cost of producing the event. But a lot of times what happened is you know that you have to sell this ticket at this price point in order to not lose money or make money. And the super early birds are just a buffer. So in the best case scenario, you want to price your super early bird based on the calculation of how much you need to sell the ticket for. So the best case scenario, we're using the hyper sensitive or hyper conservative method, is we calculated $600 a ticket that is covering the event for 100 people and covering the event for 100 people, but only expecting 50 people to show up, okay? And having a profit of $10,000, and we calculate the ticket price at $600, okay? So very hyper conservative, but you know that you have $600 you need to sell. So best case scenario, this $600 is way below the market tolerance rate. So you know if you do a super early bird at this price, you're going to sell out. You will sell out at this price at $600. So for me, no problem running a super early bird promotion, and I want to create urgency, right? So I want to don't let it go beyond a certain date. Okay, so you want to get people to buy within the first 2 weeks, maximum first 3 weeks, or a month, depending on how far away are you selling your tickets. Okay, so you want to give yourself time. So if you have a lot of time, if you are 1 year out, if you're 9 months out, you can give your super early bird up to a month. Okay, rule of thumb, according to me, is the retail tickets can go on for at least 2 to 3 months regular price. And then super early bird about 2 weeks, and then early bird about 3 to 4 weeks, and then go to retail, because we want to collect as much money upfront as possible. Now, let's just say that this $600 is at market tolerance. Okay, that means what everybody else is charging. So you don't want to go beyond that too much. Let's just say that you want to keep it at the same price, at $600, like the market tolerance. Then your super early bird, these tickets, you want to limit how many of these super early bird tickets you can sell, because if you sell a lot of those, then you are taking up seats in the room and you won't have many tickets left to sell at the price point that you can break even. So if you're selling the super early bird instead of selling at $600 where you will break even and make $10,000 profit, you sell the super early bird at $200. You want to limit the number of tickets. The whole goal of a super early bird is to collect money upfront. Okay, is to collect money upfront. So you can sell it at 50%. So at $300, and you do not want, and you are banging to sell only 50 tickets. You do not want to have super early bird tickets sales that is 50% of your tickets, okay, as in like how many tickets you need to sell. It should not be that, because that limits how many more tickets can you leave to sell, and then you will not have enough tickets to sell at different price point. Okay, this is a very in-depth strategy. Not many people will be able to understand this, and not many people do that. In fact, I know that I'm the only one to do this, because it takes time to really crunch the numbers. So that's why if you're watching this and you know you're going to do a ticketed in-person event, you want to make money. I talk about the mini course that I have created. I talk about just providing a consultancy services. If you need me to spend 1 hour with you to go through the math with you, we can do that as well. Or you can hire me. Either way. So learn here, do it yourself, buy the course. Or just keep watching this and do the math. All right. So you want to have different tiers. So super early bird, and retail. Then you want to be also to upsell, right? If they want to have VIP experience, the VIP experience could be anything that you think is of value to your potential attendee. So if they're here to listen to you and to learn from you, then they want time with you. So then you want to sell this, you want to be able to sell this experience as an upsell for them to buy a VIP ticket. If, let's say, you're an event planner and you want to be able to offer an extraordinary experience, that means they may have a personal chef curating their menu, or they go on a boat ride off to watch a sunset. All those things could be additional add-on to your tickets, okay? Just make sure that the price of your add-on covers the cost of providing the experience, okay? So ticket sales strategy timeline is, if you are doing, your objective is doing an enrollment program, that means you want a lot of people to come. You need to give yourself time. You have to give yourself time to sell. As I said during the part 1 of the session, is if all goes well, three months before the event date, you should have sold enough tickets, collected enough money that cover the cost of the event already. But 3 months out, you're not there, you're still a ways to go, then we have time to do flash sales. We have time to think about other different strategies, and we have time to do to also run ads to sell the tickets. So you want to give yourself time to do that. Also, how can we reduce the cost of the tickets of producing the event, so there's not so much pressure to have to sell many tickets? Sponsorship sales, which I will talk about it in the next 2 minutes. So at the same time, if your event is very small, like my event, okay, on December 2nd, my in-person event, I only want no more than 10% in the room. So I also have a different objective. It's not so much to the public. It's all my existing clients or past clients, people that I want to reactivate in terms of working with me again, or to extend their renewal, for them to renew to work with me again, and to build a loyalty towards me so that they will still want to work with me at some capacity. Okay, so I don't have to have a 1 year plan out, and I only need to have 10 tickets, right? So what do I need to do? I calculate the cost of producing the event, and I already started planning like 3 months out. So I started calculating how much it's going to cost. So I don't charge myself. I don't charge my AV team, right? And I don't charge some of the clients who's coming. So in reality, I probably will be only charging 4 person who's coming, 4 to 5 people who's coming, and the rest of the people are coming for free. So I have to use the cost of the event divided by 5 tickets and not 10 tickets. All right. So I use the same strategy for my own event. So because it's such a small event and my objective is not enrollment from the public, then I am able to sell my tickets at a shorter time span. Now, for those of you who are event planners who wants to do social events or any form of ticketed events, so the one that's coming up soon, now we are in October, you may want to do breakfast with Santa in December. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, right? Now is the time to start selling the tickets, because social events, no point selling it so far out because people don't think about it. You want to do it at least 3 months, give yourself at least 3 months of buffer, okay, to sell your tickets. So you should be selling your tickets right now. So if let's say you're planning breakfast for Santa with Santa, all right, that's December 25th. By September 25th, you should already know how much this event is going to cost you and how many tickets you want to sell, how many people you're expecting to come, how many people you think realistically will come, how many tickets you realistically can sell. Then now you have October, November, and December to sell your tickets. Okay, so by, let's say, beginning of November, you should know, have I already sold enough tickets to cover the cost? So social events are a little bit different. You can give yourself 45 days of window to determine, do I need to do flash sales or not? And up to 3 months to sell your tickets. Okay, all right, so now let's talk about sponsorship strategy. Okay, sponsorship strategy. Now, a lot of corporations, if you're looking for sponsorship can be donating money, donating items, or donating an experience. So what does donating money means? All right. So donating money can be, they actually give you the cash. So you can actually use the money to offset the cost of the event, to actually pay your vendors and your venue. Donating experience is they actually sponsor a breakfast, a lunch, your boat trip, or any experience that you are providing at your event. Okay, so an entertainer, for instance, what else? Having a DJ, having a band, or photo booth, something like that. So they can sponsor an experience. So a lot of times these sponsors are the owner of providing the service of the experience. So for them, it's just using their inventory or using their talent. Okay, so sponsoring an experience. So now you don't have to spend the money to get a photo booth, to get a photographer, to get anything to provide the experience, because this company actually have the resources in terms of providing the service. So they sponsor the experience. And then the other one is sponsoring an item. A lot of times, sponsoring an item is also this company has the inventory of this item, such as they will give you thumb drive because they are thumb drive manufacturer, I'm just saying, okay? Or they produce customized notebooks or something like that. Anything they can go into your swag bag. So they provide snacks, healthy snacks, okay? Or healthy drinks if you're in the wellness rhyme of doing ticketed in-person event, you're a fitness coach, health coach. And for event planners, it could be a candle maker. They do their own bath bombs. So they will give you the inventory itself to go into your sweat bag. So now you don't have to buy inventory. You don't have to spend money on that, because now your sponsors are contributing to the experience, contributing to your sweat bag, the item itself, or giving you cash. So sponsorship, when is the time to pitch sponsorship and how to look for sponsors? The time to pitch sponsorship normally is the last quarter of the year and the first quarter of the year. The last quarter of the year is by the third quarter, they will be looking at, have I used up all my marketing dollars? If I haven't used up my marketing dollars, I better use them by the end of the year. Because if they don't, the next year when they are planning their budget, they'll be like, last year you used this much, we don't have to increase the budget, and you are able to achieve ABC, XYZ. So we don't need to give you more money. You don't want that, okay? We want them, your sponsors, to use up all their marketing dollars, so next year they can have a bigger budget and then they can have bigger sponsorship. So you want to be able to talk to them by September, so they can see have they already used up their marketing dollars. If they have not, then congratulations, they may have this extra money to spend on you. If they have already used up their marketing dollars for the year, and your event is the first quarter of the year or the second quarter of next year, okay? Then now you have pitched to them and they like the opportunity, then they will be able to put you on their budget, okay? So when they are planning the budget for the next year, they already have considered you. They have already considered you to put you on their budget. So you will get the sponsorship as well. Everybody good with me so far? I know I'm speaking really, really fast. So, but there's so much to share, and you can tell that this is what I love to do. So give me a thumbs up and emoji, a heart. Let me know that you're following me so far. Okay. Now that you know when to pitch them, how do we find sponsors? What sponsors do we need to pitch to? A lot of times it depends on your market. Okay. So depends also on the theme of your event. If the theme of your event is, let's say Christmas, okay, let's say breakfast with Santa, and you want to look for sponsorship, then you have to think about, okay, what company can provide me with money, experience, or items, right? So a photographer would be great because you want a lot of pictures, so you will want to talk to a photographer. Now, what type of photographer to talk to? You want to talk to somebody who also think that the people who's coming to your event, can they gain clients when they sponsor their service, item, or money to your event? It has to align with your sponsor's objective as well. Some sponsors are looking for brand visibility, not so much of getting clients. So if you are doing an event and it's all about the numbers of how many people is in the room, then you want to get a sponsor that is providing a service or an item that is complementary to the theme of your event or to whatever you are providing at the event, right? Your business. So I will quote you some examples so you all can relate. And then the people in your event, at your event, can see, oh, I also need that too. So for instance, okay, if you are a coach and consultant and you are doing an enrollment activity and you are teaching people how to sell their programs, okay, you're a sales coach, you are trying to teach people how to sell their program, high ticket program. So you know that the people who's coming are also coaches and you want to help them to teach them how to sell their high ticket programs. So do you know that they also run a business? The attendees who's coming to your event also run a business. So what will their business need? They probably need a merchant to process credit card information. They probably need a CRM company, a customer relationship management company, or CRM portal that they can manage their database. So the companies that you're going to talk to are those people who will provide services or product that you think that your attendee will need in their own business. Okay. So when you pitch to your sponsor, there's an aligned objective and aligned needs. These sponsors will be like, oh, my brand is going to be exposed to this number of people who's coming. So if they're thinking of getting a merchant to process their credit card or platform to process their credit card or a CRM system, they will think of us. So now your objective is aligned with their objective. So all the more likelihood that they will sponsor you. If you are a social event planner and you plan breakfast with Santa, you talk to a photographer, you want to talk to a photographer who is also wanting to get their name out there. Because if you talk to a photographer who is like super seasoned and they're already super booked up during the holiday seasons, they don't need you. Or they already have a good following. If you talk to a new photographer who's still very skilled in their craft, but just starting to get their brand out there, and you say that, hey, listen, we have a lot of people coming, and these people may want to have their holiday pictures taken. So come here, donate your service, and then I will promote your service. To them, so you can leave. Your brand logo, your business card, everything will be put on the sweat bag inside the sweat bag. And you get to go around to talk to those people who are here and promote your service. So now they know that they can gain the business by coming to your event, and the only way that they can do that is to donate their services and their time. So you see, you can put two and two together. So when you talk to sponsors, you need to understand what is the sponsor's objective. Right? Do they want brand visibility? Do they want to get clients? Do they just want to have an email database? So these are the things you think. and you think through, then you look for the sponsors. And then when you pitch them, you need to tell them that at my event, you'll be able to reach these objectives. Okay. So this is in general sponsorship sales strategy. There's a lot more, but I can only teach this much in 30 minutes, which I already went over today. So next week, we are going to talk about part 3, which is what do you do at the event and what should you be doing after the event so you can continue to do a next profitable in-person event. So that's part 3. Don't miss that. I'll do a full recap. And for those of you who's watching me right now, today is our first day of our 2-day CEO Business Audit Mastermind class. Okay, tonight I'm coming on inside Zoom to talk about the CEO mistakes that I made and the lessons that I learned that I use to pivot both my businesses, events business, into a 6-figure profit business. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, I'm going to drop the link inside the chat, okay, inside Facebook group, because most of you are watching me inside Facebook. And then those of you watching me on Instagram, if you want to join that, send me a DM on IG and I'll send you the link. When you purchase the ticket, it's $37. You get 2 free courses. One is a pricing course. The other one is a checklist and a video that you can watch where I created how to respond to the 7 most common objections or scenarios talking to a potential client. When they say something, what do you say back in order to close them? So you get these 2 free courses and you get a mystery gift. And the mystery gift is actually having a 30 minutes one-on-one call with me. And I will audit your business, your social media, your pricing, give you strategies, give you step-by-step on what to do to overcome these challenges. But I don't have many slots left. So and that promotion offer expires October 31st. If this is something that you want to do, IG people, YouTube people, LinkedIn people, please DM me. Instagram, Facebook people, I'll put it inside the Facebook group. So you'll be able to join and you get a workbook as well. So make sure you sign up and show up for it, okay? And you get a replay as well if you can't attend live, no worries. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I hope you have enjoyed today's part 2 of the part 3, how to plan a ticketed in-person event and make money upfront and also make money at the back end, how to reduce your cost, the different strategy in pricing your tickets, different strategy to sell your tickets, and different strategy to get sponsorship. I will talk to you all again next Wednesday. Thank you so much, everybody.